Hello, everyone. A very good evening. Thank you so much for joining in. We already have a resource person here. Hello, Bhavya. Thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to have you. We'll just wait for like 2-3 minutes while some other people are joining, and then we'll start with the session. Okay, so let's not wait for longer. Let's start. If other people are going to join, they'll join us in the middle of it. So, hi Bhavya, welcome again. Before I start, I would like to confirm the pronunciation of your name. Is it Bhavya or Bhavya?
It's Bhavya.
Okay, Bhavya. Okay, so hi. Before I start asking you questions, I would love if you could give a small introduction to the audience about you.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Tanya. Hi everyone. Myself, Bhavya Karia, and currently, I am a senior software engineer at Upwards. Like, I've been working as a professional for last 3 years. I graduated back in 2018. Currently, I work as a senior software engineer in a fintech, like it's a Upwards Fintech, like it's a small startup we have. And here, like I've been working for past around almost 1.5 year. It has been a crazy ride. When I had interned at the company, like we were around 4 people, and today we are a team of 100 plus. So yeah, that has been my ride for the last couple of years. That's been quite awesome. So yeah, apart and one more thing, like I had started out as an Android engineer, and currently like I have moved completely as a full stack. So yeah, that's about me.
Okay. Guys, please note the stacks that Bhavya is working in so that you can ask those related questions. Right? So, the first question would be if you had to describe yourself in 10 words, any random 10 words that would describe you the best. So, which would be those words?
Okay, so 10 words, that's quite a difficult question. About the 10 words, I would say somewhat creative, persistent, other words like creative, persistent, technically, like as every CS student has to be. But so yeah, so since basically the definition of full stack. So I have my part brain into front end. I have a part brain into the back end. So that's somewhat like I won't say like master of none, jack of. Like I'm a bit creative sometimes when it comes to front end and technical or logical in the back end when it's a back end problem as well. So yeah, so exactly 10 words. I think yeah, so around 4 to 5 words it became. Apart from that, like those basic words like since you work on a in a startup, so there are 10 different things you do from support staff. You are a sales marketer and everything like XYZ.
Right.
So yeah, I think those would be the around 8 or maybe 10 words, like I think, which
Yeah.
might describe me.
Got it. Got it. That sums you up. So, like, you are a full stack engineer right now. So, what exactly is your work in Upwards Fintech as of now?
Yeah, so as a full stack engineer, I have ownership of a couple of products. One is our loan management system. So that's an internal tool which we have. And basically, like every team at our current company works on that particular product. So that's one complete system which on which customers' data, sending out emails, marketing campaigns. If we even have created a WhatsApp with somewhat similar to WhatsApp web application on it. So that's a critical application because on a daily basis, like we approve loans of around easily around 70 to 80 lakhs rupees. So any small technical bug and it's a huge impact on business. So that's one product which I have complete ownership. So like from gathering information to making a deployment, that complete process comes under me. Apart from that, we have other couple of products like we have an Android application as well, so I manage that as well. So these are the couple of products which I'm working currently at Upwards. Yeah.
Okay. And what exactly does Upwards do?
So basically, Upwards is a fintech. We provide personal loans for the salaried employees from anywhere ranging from 20,000 to 2.5 lakhs, 3 lakhs. So that's the first model. Like customer, we have an Android application. Any user can install the application, fill up the form, and within 24 to 48 hours, we either approve, reject the customer, and the rest of the journey occurs. So he can avail any personal loan he requires. That's one. That's the main platform, and apart from that, we have certain affiliates as well. We have third-party agents as well who bring us leads for us. So we don't directly interact with the customer, but we interact via third-party agents. So those are the couple of main products at Upwards like which we have.
Okay. So I'll ask one question that everyone has when they think about fintech. So does like venturing into fintech require any kind of like knowledge about finance, especially when you're from an engineering background?
No. So it won't require any fintech knowledge because I still remember back when I was interning. So basically, my both the founders are from IIT Delhi, and as you know, people from IIT they are quite smart, and the calculations they make are like quite a. So basically, initially we were four people's team. So I used to be sitting besides me was CTO and CEO. And so while I was an intern, I was in college, I guess maybe second year or third year somewhere, and at that moment, I was given an application to develop a simple calculator like EMI calculator. It required certain fintech keywords like compound interest and back then I knew nothing about it, but that did not issue anything like because the founders were quite helpful. They provided me with the formulas and everything. So if you want to get into fintech, any financial background is not necessary. You can, yeah, learning it is a plus point, but it's not anything like on that basis. If you don't know any fintech, then you will be rejected or something. It's not like that.
Okay. Since you mentioned your college, let's talk about that. So like tell us how your college life has been. How you decided why you wanted to be an engineer. Tell us everything about it.
Yeah, so about being an engineer, to be honest, I hadn't imagined that I would get into science. Leave apart, like initially my approach had been like I would join any arts or science commerce stream. And since I was good at sports in school, so I might take up some hockey or cricket or something and would develop a career in it. But then after around at the end of my ninth or tenth, like my friend circle changed. So it wasn't intentional. All my friend circle, like friends, best friends around me they were all scholars. Like they were first rank, second rank holder in school, and like easily, even I did not knew that I started to develop those habits. Like I started exploring science a bit, and I liked it. And I think after 10th, it was quite clear because in 10th, I brought a E. Balguruswamy book about Java, and I knew nothing about language, nothing about like when I purchased the book, I didn't knew like what Java is, but I just wanted to explore about computers and stuff. So I had bought that book, and that's the moment when. And another interesting thing happened. Like after 10th, you have a bifocal subject, either electronics or computer science. You have to pick up,
Right.
and by mistake I knew nothing about it, so I just randomly selected electronics, and for the next 2 years I went ahead with electronics, but my passion was lied with computers. So by the when it was choosing engineering, it was quite clear that I want to go into computer science specific field. So yeah, by trial and error, I came to know like, yeah, that's the field I want to go into.
Amazing. So you studied electrical in school, but then you ended up choosing computer science. You did not study computer science, but you knew that you wanted it. That's amazing. So then what happened in college? Like what pushed you towards being an Android engineer first?
Yeah. So in college, I won't say initially again in college after entering college in second year, third year, I was more into graphic designing and all those stuff compared competitive programming and stuff. So basically, I was into graphic designing, did couple of freelancing projects here and there, was a part of the TEDx team of my college, and then I came to know about Android development and website development in detail. Since developing websites for the TEDx event and an Android application, so I came across with a couple of seniors who were quite good at those particular skills, and that's something which I liked. And after that, so basically, what I did was I tried first applying for internships because I was not sure whether I want to do web or Android. So I took up like an internship at my current company only back in college, and then I was told to create an application, Android app. And again, like I created an application within a month and a half or something during the internship from scratch, since there was no any other developer there. So from scratch I developed it, and it was on Play Store. People downloaded it, and around 6 months after completing my internship, like there were people coming to me and saying like they liked the application and they used it. It was a simple calculator kind of stuff, but it helped them. And that's something which triggered me, like this is a product. I created a product, it went on Play Store, people downloaded it, and it affected their life, it helped them. And that's something then I decided that Android engineering is something which I can look into. So that's how I started with Android.
Okay, and then what made you shift to full stack?
Yeah, so after getting into Android, like again, we had around 5 million customers on our Android application, and it was quite a tedious task to handle it. And it was not something quite easy again. But then then a situation occurred at my company that the senior developer was handling the loan management system. He was leaving the company, and then CTO just asked me that. Would I like to lead this particular project? And then I thought, even then by that time I had developed certain curiosity regarding the financial products as well. I wanted to learn more about the fintech world and like how the products are developed, how you give loans, what is the interest, and although the technical side of the finance side of it. And for that, the loan management system was the best tool. And again, here you have two problems. At the Android side, you have just one problem, that you have to scale at the client side. Not even at the client side. Like if there are 5 million users, everyone has a separate machine, so you don't have to scale that much. Yeah, it has their own problems, but when you come at a full stack role, you have to scale at the back end as well. You have to make sure that the database is working fine. I still remember like at a one moment we had around 5,000 or 6,000 users simultaneously, and the database crashed, and we were around 4 or 5 engineers, and we had to like instantly look into it. So that's something which brought me towards like I wanted to explore backend, how you scale a system, what how the this big companies like Facebook, Google work, and for that reason I shifted to full stack.
All right. So you did this internship in your second or third year, and did you try joining any other company as well, or were you with them from the very starting? So you just loved
No,
their concept and continued working with them?
no, so actually, so basically in college I did two internship. First internship was a web development internship. It was the company had was about property selling a website into real estate. And then did my second internship at my current company, that's Upwards Fintech, in a fintech domain, and the internship was in Android domain. And after college, I joined the real estate company, like my first internship company. I joined them as an Android engineer there. And after working for about 1 year, I got a call from my CTO about the current company CTO that he has an opening in his current at Upwards and would like me to join as a senior developer. and that's something which I felt like I liked the approach, and even the product was something I was familiar. So that's when I joined my current company. So just a tip for the students here, like I joined, so I got the PPO from both the companies, and it was just I never the intention was never that I want to get into internship and get a PPO or anything, but it just happened. It was a byproduct. So both the internships are that's something which helped me, and like currently, like even my both the past companies are the ones which I had interned in my college.
Amazing. That is actually right. Like when you're choosing a company where you want to intern at, you should consider that this could be the company that you would end up doing a job at. So make sure that you choose the right companies that actually suit your interest. So, what do you think one should focus on while in college? Like one thing that you think everyone should focus on?
Again, like I won't say there is any one particular thing one needs to concentrate, because, for example, nowadays you get competitive programming. You have projects, you build projects, then you do internships. Apart from that, you have your regular studies. You have to maintain certain GPA. Back in college, I had a mindset that GPAs does not matter, the CGPA won't matter, marks does not matter, and I was wrong at it. Like marks are something which even today people consider, while at least at your placement level. Because, for example, if Microsoft is going to hire people only people who have CGP above it, then what's the point? Like you have to go and again, like, so that's something like I won't say everything is important. It has to be equally divided. You have to be good at data structures and algo. For that, you can practice CP. Again, like if you have a good environment at your college, you have your friends who are doing CP, then it gives you a better edge that you will learn more things about data structures and algorithms. So CP is important. But again, CP is not the only thing. You have to make projects. Then you will, because hands-on experience is required in startups. In big MNCs, they will train you for 3 months, 6 months, and it would be quite easy. But at a startup, you are required to start working on the first day. Like for example, I was an intern. On the first day itself, the CTO gave me certain tasks like which I knew nothing about. But then that's something like they require. That's the expectation there. They won't teach you. Yeah, on the go, like they will teach you, they will guide you, they will provide you resources, but you have to self-learn certain things. So projects are required. And again, if you ask me, like, if you have to select between projects or internships, then I think both are important, because it's like if you are getting a good internship at a product based company, then, and if you're leaving that for just a small to-do list project, then that's not a right choice. So both are important at their like equally important. So I would say like there's a couple of things which you need to keep in mind are that you need to be good with DS and Algo, have one or two good projects in your resume. You can do some open source as well. That's something you can try out, and having one or two internships would add like a couple of brownie points for your resume.
Amazing. So, if you had to like give some tips to your younger self that you could do something differently, maybe. So, would you do something differently?
Yeah, so couple of things I would do differently, not exactly differently. So first of all, I started reading at a very late stage, around 9th, 10th, or after in my junior college. So reading is something which I would like to pick up while I was in school, because that's something which people don't realize. But the more you read, it gives you an edge over other people. The knowledge is extra knowledge is any day better. So that's something which I would. Apart from that, in college, I had a mindset that CGPA does not matter. I don't want to go into those service-based product service or big MNCs. I want to only go into startup and so. So that's mindset which I would like to. I would change if I was in college again, because I would. I'm not saying like I have to be the topper or maintain a 9 CGP or anything, but a fair enough 8 would be good enough. Like, so at least I get to sit in a couple of good companies and doing CP. I would like have practiced CP a bit, so that it would help me in cracking interviews for product based companies.
Okay. So you said that you had this mindset that you would join startups and not service-based or product-based companies in college. So why was that? I mean, most people have it the other way around. They would rather have a stability in their jobs than join startup right out of college.
Yeah, so even like back in college, everyone suggested me like why I'm going for startup. They are risky and everything. And to be honest, I have made mistakes while selecting startups and all those ESOPs and all those issues. I have failed at selecting good startups. It's not like it has been a good ride, but my intention was like so if I'm working in a company, if in a big company where there are around 1,000 people already, and I might get some work, but how much will it impact to the society, or even like how much it will contribute to my growth? It might be minute. Like again, you have a specified task in an MNC. Like you are given certain task and you have to complete that itself. Like if you are a front end engineer, that's you. The only job is to maintain the website or the front end or the UI part. That's it. Nothing more than that. But in a startup, you learn more skills. Like for example, at my current startup, it's I'm a software engineer. I develop products, but again, so at some time I have to answer. I have to provide support as well. So I'm providing. So I'm working as a support team member as well. Like I get into calls with clients and do screen sharing and try to analyze like what issues they have, no matter like how simple or how basic it is. Like even talk to the customer, and if they are facing any issue on the application or something, like support is something I do. Marketing is something like I can contribute in if I think like this is something which we can do to increase sales or something. So basically my initially when I started working in the as an internship, like basically all this process started when I was interning with this couple of startups. Again, the team size was small, and my mindset was, why would anyone listen to me? Like I'm just a third year college student, and they have a company working, they have people under them, and like real money is involved. Then why would they take my suggestion? And in big MNCs, it is quite true. But in startups, they took my advice. Like I provided solutions to some problems, and that's something like which said like, no, the startup is something like which I should live in. And again, at the start of my career, I can take certain risks. So even I fail at one or two startups, it's not the end of world for me. So those are the couple of points which for which reasons I preferred startup.
Okay, that is a very justified answer. So there was another question that came up yesterday, and that was like, is it better to go for higher studies or go for a job right after college? What do you think?
Uh, so job right after. So I have couple of friends who have directly after doing engineering went for masters to US, and now today they are working in big techs like Google, Facebook, Uber, and stuff. So again, but at the same time, they had a clear approach from the starting. Like they had everything sorted in the second year, third year. That's something the master is something they want to do, and they want to settle abroad, and that's the whole plan they had. And even their elder siblings had done the similar thing, so that was the path for them. Whereas in my case, so basically coming from a family where so basically no one was engineer in my family, even no one was graduate. So doing masters is something which never occurred to me because I never saw any elder sibling or doing masters or anything. Very basic was like you do after 12th or after 15th, after graduation you start working. That was the mentality at my current like which I had back then. And for that reason I never looked into like master, can we do masters or something. But so basically it depends on your the condition as well. Like if you are able, your family is financially stable and you don't have any dependency, and you straight away can invest 2 to 3 years in masters, and that's something which passionates you, then go forward. Like it's not wrong that directly after college you are doing masters, because anyways like you will learn some things in deep in masters, which as a bachelor I don't know even today.
Right.
So if you have a opportunity and if you want to do masters and you have a proper plan, then go for masters. But again, like if you are not sure and you have certain financially some dependency over you and want to go for a job, then go for the job. After 2 years, you can do masters. And today, in today's world, like everything is possible. Like today, people are doing masters from home. Currently, like I have a senior developer who recently 2 years back got married and recently about a few months back had a child, and currently he's doing a masters from some big US university by staying at home. So like everything is possible in today's world. So that depends like what's your future goal.
Right. Thank you for that answer. So, coming to the last question for the day, what exactly is the scope of growth in your company? Like, where do you see yourself 2, 3, or 5 years from now?
Yeah, so basically, about my journey, I started as an Android engineer, now moving to a full stack engineer. So basically, currently, after working for around 1.5 years, I'm at a stage where I know the product. So tomorrow, going forward, if we are bringing any new particular product, then I can easily lead that particular team because I know what are the requirements. Even I know the finance side as well. So basically, at my current company, this has been like whenever I'm having a call with the CTO, it's about the technical side. Whenever I'm having a call with the CEO, it's regarding product management, how the product should be developed, and what are the features required. So this is something I have learned over the past couple of years. And so going forward, if I want to lead any particular product or create any, like since we have a couple of products in pipeline, and basically again like our team encourages us to pick up challenging work. And so that's something. So as a growth perspective, I say there are a couple of interesting products we are developing since after COVID, a lot of people have lost their jobs. Financially, it has been quite difficult for everyone, and for that reason, on the fintech side, it has fintech players like especially personal loans companies have seen a massive growth, and there's a quite huge opportunity as well going forward. So yeah, there are a couple of products which I might lead going forward, or I might look into it. So yeah, that's the growth I'm looking forward.
Amazing. Best of luck for that. We hope your company grows manifold in the next few years. With that, now I would like to open the floor for the audience to ask some questions. So, in case anyone has any questions, you can type them in the comment chat. Don't ping Bhavya like privately, and also you can just unmute yourself and ask the questions. So, in case anyone has any questions, go ahead. We have a shy bunch of students here. They take a few moments to open up.
No issues. Like even I am a introvert person, so I
Yeah,
can.
we have one question. Saurav is saying, what are some really good resources to master front end?
Okay, so about front end, if you're mastering front end, so I would say what mistake made, and accordingly you would be helpful. Like it can be a resource. So I learned Angular, React, this framework initially, but what I should have done is learn basic JavaScript and like basic JavaScript, HTML, CSS. So I would say start with basic JavaScript first, and then like once you are mastered with JavaScript, then any framework is easy. So I would suggest to learn. I think there are a couple of good resources like 30-day basic JavaScript course, and you can find out on GitHub where they teach you pure JavaScript, nothing, no framework, and those like that would again. I think on YouTube as well you have a couple of good series with I guess Akshay Sani has Namaste JavaScript, something. That's one. Apart from that, I think there are a couple of good resources available on YouTube as well regarding, and a couple of good books regarding would be Elegant JavaScript, You Don't Know JS. Since basically I'm mentioning JavaScript resources because in front end, JavaScript is the core module. Once you master JavaScript, then everything else is quite easy.
Okay. I hope that answers your question, Saurav. Moving on, we have another question. What is the source of income for companies working on open source development?
Okay, so since I haven't worked with any particular company who does complete 100% open source or anything, so I won't be able to answer surely like what's their source of income. But I've came across couple of them. For example, I think in Mumbai you have FOSS, this big fintechs like Zerodha, Mpani, and they have tied up and created an open source environment. In that, there is one company which is completely open source, and but they provide certain portals like for monthly fee subscription basis. So that's something that can be a source of income for them. And again, apart from that, I think sure there are many millionaires who donate to such organizations like Elon Musk did to free Khan Academy and stuff. So yeah.
I hope that answers your question, Aniket. If anybody else has any questions, you can just unmute yourself. Talk to Bhavya. He's here for you guys. Okay, Aniket is satisfied with the answer. And there's another question. Hanumant is asking, what should I do to get internship?
Okay, yeah. First thing is just make a resume and upload it on Internshala, AngelList, like whichever platform you get it. I made again here, I made a mistake in first year, second year. I thought that I am not good enough for an internship or anything, so I did not even apply it, which was wrong. Like, what's the harm in applying? In the worst case you would get rejected, but anyway, like when you're not applying, you would straight away you are still getting rejected. So just make an resume, apply. And about the skill set, select do some projects, like those are the best thing, because you have something, if you have a project, especially you deploy it on Netifly or on Heroku or something, like you which you have a project which is live, then it gives an immense boost to your profile. For example, if you're applying for an internship at my company current, and you just ping me your GitHub profile and a particular link of your project, and I see that it's working, so at least I know that you know certain skills, you have developed some stuff, and I would give you an opportunity there itself. So that's something. So to get an internship, the basic thing is just make a resume, apply. Don't feel like you won't get it or anything. And at the simultaneously make couple of good projects. Like today, there are n number of resources available online, and if possible, like connect on LinkedIn to people who are working on in good companies, and I'm sure anyone of like would give you mentorship. Again, like GirlScript has couple of good programs where you can learn about and create projects. So yeah, those are the things like you should do.
Yeah, so the students who are currently here are already learning with Girl Scripts EdTech platform. So I think Bhavya kind of subtly hinted that you guys should totally ping him. If you want an internship, he might end up giving you one. So you should tell us what kind of internships you could be offering, so that students who are in those domains might end up pinging you.
Yeah. So currently at my current company, so again here about my company, I we have couple of internship positions in Android web development front end parts. So if people want to apply, then like please ping me on LinkedIn and send me your resume. I will have a look at it. And apart from that, I have again a side project or a small startup kind, where again we have couple of openings for internships. So again, there the domain is in A. There's one domain do an internship. Web development is the another domain. So like you just ping me your resume or ping me on WhatsApp on LinkedIn, and like I will look into it. Like at least your resume gets seen by the hiring team.
Thank you so much for that, Bhavya. Thanks a lot. Everyone would be grateful for that. Moving on, we have another question. Nitish is asking, can Android make a mechanism in future to stop the development of apps that are a threat to people's safety or privacy?
That's quite a big question. So first of all, Android is open. So yeah, so I agree that people's safety, privacy is it should be foremost, and there are certain rules again. But I believe that so basically, Android was given by Google. So if you are expecting that Google all the safety privacy rules and they will improve the system, they would do, but again it would take them time because Android is not the only stuff they are working on. And again, since it's an open source, there are n number of devices. There's me, Samsung, everyone has their own UI and different stuff. So it becomes difficult for one single company to provide this. But yeah, as in certain organizations, like there's European organizations, like they have certain rules, privacy and stuff. So yeah, again, in future, these organizations can help companies to develop certain mechanism for like handling privacy and all those stuff. But in my personal opinion, anyway, like today I create a particular lock, tomorrow 5 years down the line, someone is going to break that lock. So that's something, it would be a bit difficult, but yeah, I think we can achieve it.
Okay, so Nicholas is satisfied with that answer. Any other questions? Okay, we have another, which is best Python or C++ for career, I think.
Okay. Python or C++. So again, my experience in both these languages has been quite minimal. I am more of a Java person and a Java and JavaScript person. But coming to Python, since recently I've been working on an AI product in which I've used Python and I've been amazed like what all libraries are available and how good it is. So going as a career point of view, first of all, language does not matter. So if you are a Java developer, C++ developer, Python developer, it won't hinder you in future or anything. Yeah, there are a couple of specific roles which you might not be able to apply. For example, if there's particular role which requires C++, then and as a Java person, I might not get it. But again, that's quite few that are the outliers part. So if you know Java, then it's easy to pick up Python or C++ for the project. If you know C++, then simul- simultaneously. So there's no correct answer to here. If it's a personal choice, if you like Python, go ahead with Python. If you like C++, I've seen like for competitive programming, majority of people select C++. So that's something it's easy to get resources in C++ for CP. So if that's something you want to do, then go ahead with C++. And if you want to work on ML or AI stuff and something, then Python is something which you can have a look.
I hope you got your answer, Krishna. Yes, okay. Any more questions? Okay, I'll ask you a question till then if everyone else is thinking. So, if the requirement had not been there in your company for you to become a full stack engineer, do you think you would still have been an Android engineer, or do you think you would have switched eventually anyway?
Uh, I might have been an Android engineer. Maybe in future I might have shifted. So basically, what I've learned about myself in last couple of years is that I'm more of a product person. So it's not like I want to work on front end or on back end or any particular technology or something. I like to work on products. So if the product requires me in a back end, so I'm a back end engineer. If it requires to be an Android engineer, I'm an Android engineer. So specifically, yeah, if I had been an Android engineer, I might do specialization in Android. Like that might have been the case, but again, you never know.
Right. Road not taken after all. So, do I like when you work in a startup, do you think you also get a fair amount of experience on working on non-tech stuff while you're working on a product?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, first of all, initially I did not like this process where when I wanted to develop a particular feature, I had to go to that particular team, get the like all the feedback, what are the features they required, and all those stuff. Then create that particular feature. After doing that, do the testing myself, and then deploy it. And I was like, we need testers. Like my job is to create it's about development. Then why should I go and take on like all the feedback with the users? Like that should be provided to me. That was my initial thought process. But then going forward, I learned couple of things because so there were a couple of features which I developed, but since I never used those particular features, so I never came to know that there are certain issues which a user is facing. And this is something which you get to know when you interact with the consumer or with the customer, because then you will know that there is some flaw in your product. Unless you use that particular product yourself, you won't be able to know that there's some issue in your product. And then how will you improve it? So for that, startup is a good place because you can do, and like there are n number of opportunities in startup. So today, if I want to do any SEO related stuff, I have opportunities. I can just ping my growth manager, and he can assign me a couple of tasks, and I can look into it. If I want to learn more about finance, then I can ping couple of my friends in credit team and learn about it. And so again, in startup, there you get to wear different hats, and it's up to you like what path you want to choose. So I think if I was in a big MNC and I was an Android engineer, the opportunity to shift to a full stack engineer might have been quite less. But in the startup, since I was in a startup, I was able to switch to a full stack.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you so much for that answer. So, if nobody else has any questions, with that, we'll come to an end of today's session. So, last 1 minute, if anyone has any last minute questions, anything about internships, projects, what kind of projects should be done, anything you want to ask.
Tanya, so what I will do, I will just ping my LinkedIn and email ID over chat here in case
Yeah, sure.
anyone wants to reach out or if has any issue after this call.
Definitely. We have two questions. Yeah. So the question Nitish is asking is, what is the role of DevOps in machine learning?
Okay, so a role of a DevOps in machine learning. First of all, DevOps and machine learning, they are basically DevOps is a person who handles all the infra of a particular uh, company. So any issues in your servers, then DevOps is a person to contact, or any authorization or server. So basically any hardware or server issue, then DevOps is the person you contact, or any AWS issue, S3 or any particular related server related issue or backend related issue, then DevOps is the person who handles. And machine learning is a completely different field. So a role of a DevOps in machine learning would be, again, this would be my guess since I haven't worked in any of those either as a DevOps or a machine learning person. So in machine learning, you have couple of systems or models you train. And again, for training those models, you require high-end PCs and server stuff. So a DevOps person's role should be to maintain those machines to make sure that the CPU, GPU, which on which the models are running are quite efficient and they can perform the task in provided time. So yeah, that can be the role of a DevOps in machine learning.
Okay. And the next question is from Maitri, and she is asking, what are the future scopes of Flutter?
Okay, so yeah, so recently I have heard quite a lot about Flutter. Personally, I haven't yet tried Flutter. About future scope, since for last around 1 year I am not in touch with the latest developments in Android. So I have heard that something Android Jet Compose or something similar has been recently launched for the UI. So basically, initially we used XML to create UIs for Android application, and now you have something called Compose and stuff, which you have. And Flutter is something which helps you develop an app for multi-platforms. So you just create a simple application and you are able to deploy on Android, iOS, Mac OS, Windows, Linux. And currently, I think even Linux provided the support for Flutter. So I think there's a huge scope because since I have worked on a native application, And today, when we want to scale it to different platforms, and I've seen the issues which we are facing. Since we are since we had just a native application, we could not roll out an iOS application or something. We had to build it from scratch and all those issues. So if but again, there are certain issues with Flutter itself currently, and if in future Google is able to resolve those, and if people adapt Flutter like they uh, adapted Android, then it has a good scope in future.
Yeah, Mehdi, satisfied with that answer? So another last minute countdown if anyone has any last minute questions, because we had two questions when I said that we'll just have one more minute for questions. So anyone having any last minute questions? Yeah, we have another. Should one learn Swift?
So about Swift, Swift is for creating application on iOS and Mac. So if you are interested in creating application for iOS device, then Swift is something you have to learn. So yeah, if you're planning to become an iOS developer, then Swift is something you can learn and it will help you in future. And yeah, so basically, apart from that, I can't remember if Swift is used by any. Like again, I have heard like even in backend, some people use Swift, but majorly it is used for creating iOS applications.
Okay. So I think with that we have come to an end of the session for today. So I would like to thank everyone who joined, and especially Bhavya, who took out the time from his weekend to talk to us, tell us about his journey. And we are so glad that we got to talk to you and know you. Um, Thank you for answering all the questions, all the doubts that the students had. The answers were really insightful, and thank you for the conversation. Beyond that, I hope no one has any last questions, because with this, we'll be ending the meeting. So if you have any questions while I'm speaking, just type them up. So, yeah, Bhavya, thank you for joining. Hope you had a wonderful time, because we had an amazing time talking to you. Hopefully, we would get another chance to interact with you sometime in the future.
Sure,
And
sure.
everyone has already gotten your email and your LinkedIn. So if you guys have any further doubts, you can definitely ping him there. And I hope he would be there to help you. Right? So thank you everyone once again. Have a good day, have a good evening, have a good night. Bye.
Thank you, Tanya. Thanks a lot for the session. Like it was
Thank you.
quite
Thank you.
thanks and all the best to everyone.